Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. They're greatly appreciated. To find me at all my socials and everything in the video description, there is a link tree link that will show you kind of where you can find me online, on social media, ways you can support the channel. Also, please read the video description on YouTube so that you understand sort of the purpose of these readings and how to best utilize them. This is a broad spectrum reading for the greater collective, therefore it's for you if you happen to see it. Use it as you best see fit. It is originally intended for the date of Monday the 22nd of March. It's not solely set for that date. I do believe that sometimes when we see these things, when we see them is when we're supposed to see them. So if you're seeing this on a date that's different than Monday the 22nd, that's completely fine. You may be able to apply this reading to your life in some way, shape, or form. Feel free to use it in however you need to. And let's get into this and see what the cards have to say. Okay, so for today we have the King of Pentacles is back, but it's the female version. In this deck, there's a female and male version of each of the kings, which I think is rather cool. The artist chose to do that. I love this because she is full of vibrant yellow energy, right? To me, there feels like there's an excitement to her, an exuberance. We just had the spring equinox, right? So we see all of these flowers blooming, pentacles being connected to the earth energy. That's beginning to pick up on the planet. We're moving into that fiery version of energy of Aries, that can-do sort of energy. We did see the Queen of Pentacles in the Aries reading as their center for this month, which I find interesting because we're seeing this King of Pentacles. So it's this shifting into Aries energy, yet we have this earthy, creative, material sort of Pentacles energy going on. The King would be somebody that would be in authority, right? We could be dealing with somebody in authority who's a earth sign person, which would be Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or we could be that person that's in authority, right? When I look at this, though, it being the female version of the King, to me, I want to go sort of similar to the Queen of Pentacles, but that's not quite the case here. We do have the emotion or the feminine side, or that aspect, that nurturing aspect here, but there's a little bit more, I would say, practicality than we would see in the Queen, a little bit more shrewdness, a little bit more, I don't want to say intelligence, because I don't want to say that the Queen is unintelligent, but to me, it's got a little bit more experience, this card, let's say, right? At being maybe a little bit more analytical, black and white, self-serving, but in a good way. It's that sort of energy to me, right? The King of Pentacles is always going to be a master manifester. So we want to take this energy or this card and look at the feminine aspect. Would be like looking at our feelings, our emotions, our intuitions around what it is that we maybe desire or we want to create, how it is we want to go about creating that, and then utilizing that energy to the best of our ability, especially with this oncoming spring, or this already here spring equinox, rebirth sort of energy that happens within spring, and Aries, which Aries is sort of this I am, can do sort of attitude about taking action and moving forward. So when we see this King of Pentacles, it's time to sort of bloom in a way, as we see these yellow flowers all around her blooming. I like that she has this little headdress of a little city in her head, right? Her kingdom or her plans laid out sort of in her mind, ready to go. She's pulling, and I always find this significant because this one pentacle she's pulling from sort of like her heart chakra, or her solar plexus and heart, right? From her sort of emotions in the heart, and also the power center of the third, which would associate with the yellow that we see here in all of the flowers. So it's kind of like managing our energy and our mind, our thoughts and our emotions all together towards achieving a goal, and that goal being powerful, right? Now, for those of you that this might be somebody outside of us that might be helping us, look for somebody that would be very supportive in helping us to reach our goals if they are out there. Sometimes court cards can represent people outside of ourselves. I tend to usually, with these readings, attribute them to my viewer only, but there could be somebody significant coming in to offer some sort of advice, help, assistance, perspective that helps us to kind of clear our path, continue our growth, further our finances, things like that, right? So if it's not us doing this for ourselves, then pay attention to those around us that could help us to get there. This person will be on the more nurturing side, but also be well aware of when to, cut that to the quick, if that makes sense. Like, not to allow that to get in the way. There's a lot of room for opportunity today with this card here, is my feeling, especially with all of those flowers blooming, like enjoying our environment, seeing things for the possibility that they contain and the beauty that they contain, and really enjoying that and taking that with us throughout the day. And then we see this card a lot too. This is Butterfly Garden, number 48, which would be a 12, which would be a 3. Boils down to a 3 ultimately, which to me is the mind-body-spirit connection. When I think about the mind-body-spirit connection involved in this King of Pentacles, so to me, the mind would be the king aspect, the body would be the pentacles aspect, and the spirit would be sort of the feminine version of this king, right? So we have all 3 represented in this card here, and I see that here. We've had a lot of butterfly imagery too. I think that what's going on for me here is that this butterfly is sort of resting on her head. Today, the way that this butterfly appears to me is it appears as though it's getting ready to take off. Whatever we've been working on, we saw that 8 of Pentacles all throughout last week, where that woman was Darlene, one of my viewers called it Darlene, and I guess this one could pass for Darlene too. Beth was calling it Darlene from the Roseanne show. Darlene was painting, I can't believe I'm calling her Darlene. Darlene was painting the butterfly, right? Doing the work, taking the steps, paying the attention that the work deserves to make the transformation, to move us towards what it is we want. Well, now the king says, okay, now let's sort of continue to move forward, but from a place of, like an educated place, or a place of authority, a place of high standing, a place of not accepting anything but the finest kind of thing, right? And so to me, with Butterfly Garden, I forget the story with this card, but I will read it to you in a moment, but it just sort of feels like this butterfly is resting on her head, about to fly off into creation, so to speak, right? We've painted the butterfly, we've adorned it, we've brought it from our chest to now our mind, and we're ready to sort of release it as a metaphor, if that makes any sense, into being, and let it take flight and see how that flight goes. We also see this sort of similarity of this these plans in her hair, or in her head is how I see it. And then this would also indicate sort of transformative plans or ideas, delicate in nature, but ready to take flight and to sort of, possibly pollinate and make bloom new ideas. And we see these blooms here that are happening that have pentacles within them, right? So these new ideas may very well bring us opportunities of a material nature, i.e. finances, money, career jumps, or raises, things that we want to have happen in the material world. This could also be, I sometimes look at material or pentacles as also sometimes the deepening of our interpersonal relationships, because those happen on the physical plane too, right? We can have those going on there too. So whatever it is we do desire, seeing the beauty of that, appreciating that beauty, and going after it without abandon, right? That would be this King of Pentacles. The king doesn't make any excuses for himself. He doesn't need to. He's the king, right? It's that sort of an attitude or air. It's not about being full of oneself. It's about believing in oneself, wholly due to the experience that you've had thus far and how you've handled it, right? And so when I look at Butterfly Garden, it's like aligning our mind, our heart, and our spirit, our body, mind, and spirit together so that we can launch this off into the future and let it go and let it take shape, take flight, and become more and more real. The King of Pentacles will make sure that it becomes real, that it is birthed into materialization, even if right now it only feels like an idea or something more ephemeral like that butterfly. All right, let me read Butterfly Garden to you guys. 48. Curiosity, discovery, small moments in life. A woman holds a blooming flower in her hand as she gazes towards the sky. On her head sits a butterfly closely examining the purple petals. Enjoying the situation, the woman stands still and quietly soaks in her surroundings. She does not want to disturb the scene. In our daily life, there are so many possible moments that could be precious if we would just take the time to notice them. Be mindful of your surroundings and pay attention. Ask, why is that there? Then make connections. Small observations can lead to great discoveries. So again, I said that too also with the King of Pentacles, like looking around and seeing the beauty that is around us that we see in all of these pentacled flowers really is kind of key. Seeing the lushness, the richness, and being an appreciation of that also allows us to not only indulge and enjoy it, but also to potentially create more of it as we move through this day. Let's look at the grounding stone. We have that Eight of Cups underneath all of this, guys. So I want to speak to that really quick. Let me just find the grounding stone. We have the Eight of Cups underneath this, which is that sort of emotional departure that might be happening. And again, that emotional departure that's underneath this is allowing us to sort of move towards this idea of possibility that we see here in this King of Pentacles and this Butterfly Garden card, if that makes sense. I hope that isn't too... I think those of you that regularly watch will understand. The word here is generosity. On Tiger's Eye, this is and remember we have that the underpinning stone for the week is courage. This generosity to me is about being generous first to ourselves, then to others, always. The King of Pentacles would be the epitome of generosity, especially the feminine version of the King of Pentacles, right? Because not only is the King of Pentacles giving and materialistic in a good way, but he's also, it's this feminine version, so that would provide and be nurturing in that way. So being generous to ourselves, being kind to ourselves, to our ideas, looking at the small things, taking appreciation for those things, seeing the generosity in life, seeing how the universe shows up for us, acknowledging those things and accepting them and being grateful for them will all help and assist today. And having that courage to move forward through today with this mindset of being sort of empowered and honored would be key. Be generous to yourself and allow yourself to have that. You deserve it. And I think that it might set you up for some really beautiful changes to come, maybe either later in this week or further on down the line. All right, that is your forecast for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the thumbs up button, share the forecast out with whoever may use it. And whatever groups you go to, help to promote the channel as best you can. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow to see how the energy changes. All right, thank you and take care. Oh, and check out the Tarot scopes for April. They're going up. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.